Hey, hi again. In this lecture, you're going to learn about variables. And in our program, basics.py, we have lots of variables. Now, something important that you should know is that a Python program is made of data objects, functions, and variables. So basically, these are the three components you need to know for now. So again, data objects, functions that do things on these data objects, they manipulate them, they get them and print them out, these data objects, etc. And you also have variables, and variables are used to store these data objects and also to store these functions in variables. So the interaction of these three components make up a Python program. Now let's look at some variables. All the names that you see in this format, so address equal to, this is a variable. So basically here we are assigning a data object, which is this thing here. We'll cover that later. We're assigning that to a variable. So in other words, the variable is like a container where you can put this object. This is also a variable. This one as well. So everything that is preceded by an assignment operator is a variable. Now I'm going to open another browser page. You can right click here and go to open link in new window, and then just put this window in here, and also this one in here, and I'm going to open another bash console. So now I have two consoles in two separate windows. And here I'm going to start an interactive Python session so that I explain new things interactively. I'm going to create another variable here, greeting for example, equals to hello. So once you do that, basically you are storing this text in this variable, so which is a name. And now what you can do is print greeting, and what you get is the value that the container, the variable, is holding, which is hello. If you want, you can update that to hi. Press the upper arrow key to call print again. So print greeting, you'll see that this time you get hi. So basically variables are used to organize your code so that you can define something here, but then you have lines of other lines of code here, and then you refer to that name again. You can update it and so on. You're going to understand variables later as we look at this program and other programs. So you'll see that the role that the variables play in real examples. So you can choose any name for variables, but there are some rules. For example, you cannot start the variable with a number like that, because you'll get a syntax error. So you're not following the rules of Python. You cannot start variables with a number. You can have a number somewhere in the middle or at the end of the variable name like that. That would be fine, but not in the beginning. You can also start variables with an underscore, like that, and you can also use capital letters like that. However, this is not recommended. Technically it's not a problem, but it doesn't follow the standard conventions of Python. So just use lowercase letters for variables. Now, in a variable you can store different kinds of objects. Actually, you can store everything in a variable. So in this case, we're storing a string. So this is called a string or a text, but technically in Python it's called a string. So here in our program, this is not a string, it's not a number, this is called a list. We're going to cover that later. So for now, I'm not going through this program. We still have a few basic things to learn before we go and explain the first line here. So in the next lecture, I explain you strings. And then in the lecture after that, we're going to cover numbers. And so I'll talk to you in the next lecture.